Hello everybody, I'm LBSC Studios James McKnight and I'm at the Hillsville Sanctuary Bird Show.
Some of the extraordinary adaptations of both parrots and birds of prey and discover one of the changes to make in your life.
And to play a part in helping all living things not just survive but thrive. Hello everyone, I'm James.
And I'm Jason, and soaring above the fly hearing today is River the black kite. Now black kites are birds of prey, but what is a bird of prey? Put pretty simply, a bird of prey can be any bird that feeds on other animals. So it could be a kookaburra, magpie, butcherbird, pelican, penguin. The list goes on and on. But River here is a specialised bird of prey we call a raptor or raptorial bird. And all raptors have a few distinct features. They all have a hooked, meat-tearing beak. They have sharp claws on their toes we call talons, and very powerful feet which they use to catch and kill their prey. And black kites, like River here, are amazing aerial hunters, which means they're happy to hunt things like birds and insects that will be flying around in the air, just like that. But they will also hunt on the ground as well. So they'll swoop down and pick up any small mammals and reptiles which scurry along the ground, just like that. Good example of that as well. But you will notice that when River catches his food, he always uses his feet to catch his food. What I want you to do for me today is see if you can pick what he does with the food once he catches it. Now, it can be really quick, so you need to keep your eyes on him. Are you all ready? Yeah, all right, here we go. See if we can pick it, River. All right, here we go. So I'm catching his feet, just like that. Did anyone see what he did? It was really, really quick.
He used his talons in his mouth, into his mouth.
Into his beak, and he ate it as he's flying around. It's what we call feeding on the wing. Now, they've learned to do that because it's a very energy-efficient way of feeding. It means they don't have to land and take off every single time they catch a small piece of food. Now, when it comes to adapting to an ever-changing world, these black kites have been spectacularly successful. So successful, in fact, they've learned to live alongside people. And the further north you go in Australia, the more likely you're going to see large numbers of black kites hanging around places like abattoirs, fishing ports, rubbish dumps. Sometimes even our campgrounds and our school grounds, places where they can find any little meat scraps that have been left behind. So they have done really well out of people. Now, River has done a pretty good job today. He's caught all of them so far. So what I'm going to do is, in one last catch, I'm going to make it nice and hard for him so he can show off and show you how good he can actually be. What I would like you to do for me is, if he does try and catch this one, I'll get you to give him a really big round of applause. A big clap for him to let him know we've enjoyed his time out here. Do one more big circle for me. All right, that's a good job. Here we are, all the way up and over the top. Up you go. Ah, great catch, well done. Really good example of ready or a win as well. I'm going to ask him to head off home for us once he finishes, River. Have you finished? Not yet. Would you like to head off for me, please? Just like that. Great job, River. Well done. Now, some of you might know that Australia is known as the land of the parrots. And it's pretty easy to see why. We have 56 different species of parrots that live in Australia. Rosellas, lorikeets, cockatiels, budgerigars, cockatoos, they all form part of the parrot family. Now, we'd like you to meet our next master adapter as he makes an eye-catching entrance with the brilliant white plumage, the soft yellow underneath his wings, and of course, have a look at these amazing yellow crests. That's where these birds get their name from. This is a sulphur-crested cockatoo. This one's name is Quasi. Now, sulphur-crested cockatoos are another one of the bird species that have made a real success out of sharing the environment with people. Very intelligent and popular birds. They're often seen in large, noisy social flocks. A really familiar sight in the Australian landscape. I'm sure most of you have seen them already. If you haven't, you probably will. You can see them in parks, gardens, golf courses, sometimes even in our busy city streets. But cockatoos like Quasi here, they can live longer than most of us, up to 100 years. Just think about the changes they've seen in the environment in the last 100 years. Imagine the changes they're going to see in the environment in the next 100 years. But can you imagine Australia without them? Now, it is vital for all animals to be able to adapt their ways to be able to survive out there in the wild. The first two birds are really good examples of birds that have been able to adapt their ways to live alongside people. I think that's a pretty amazing thing that they can do that.
Yeah, not all our birds are as successful as the first couple you've just met. So some of the species we find here in Victoria are finding it really hard out here in the wild at the moment. So some of most parrot species actually look to nest inside the hollows, but in really large, very old trees. If you're a very big parrot species, it can take a really long time for a tree to be suitable for you to use to nest inside. Now, unfortunately, here in Victoria, we are still losing a lot of our very large, very old trees. They're what we call our old growth forests. And some of these big trees are used by things like red-tailed black cockatoos. The other species you'll see joining us out here is called a Major Mitchell or a pink cockatoo. Both these beautiful birds, they need large territories and they need very big old trees in those territories to survive.
Wrong type.
So this is a male red-tailed black cockatoo. You'll see when he flies again, he does have really strong bright red in his tail. That tells you that he's the boy. The girls actually have a bit of yellow and orange mixed into the red of their tail. And some beautiful spots across their face and their shoulders as well. So they're very easy to tell apart. And so both these birds are struggling in the wild at the moment here in Victoria. That's the bad news. The good news is that there's hope, and we can actually help to make a difference. And sometimes we need to change our habits and our behaviours to help wildlife. Changing our habit can be a challenge, but it can be really well worth the effort. And we think beautiful birds like you've just seen there are certainly well worth the effort. The next bird in our show is another one that relies on large old trees as well, but it's a really different kind of bird. So you're about to meet one of our nocturnal or nighttime birds of prey. So it does have incredible eyesight, and if you're lucky enough to see this next bird during the day, you find her perched quietly and patiently in a tree where she'll be sitting waiting for night to fall. You can probably guess what, maybe the kids can tell me, what is a nocturnal bird of prey? What do you think? Just yell it out again, you know? Yeah, you guys know.
That's right, it is an owl, and we have 8 species of owls here in Australia. 4 of those are from the masked owl family. They all have a beautiful heart-shaped face. A really good example of those are the barn owls. You should all get a chance to see barn owls today. We actually have an aviary with a pair of barn owls in there. Worth you while stopping and looking at those. They're actually stunning looking birds. The other 4 owl species though are like Millie here. They're members of what we call the hawk owl family. Millie is actually a barking owl. And while Millie's out here, I'll get you to have a look at some of the adaptations that she has that help her to be very successful at night time. One of them is really obvious. You'll notice she has these amazingly large forward-facing eyes. And although owls have given up the ability to see in colour and they only see in black and white, they still see 35 times better than you and I. They have amazing eyesight. They also have pretty spectacular hearing. Owls have what we call lopsided or offset ears. It gives them such accurate hearing that they can pinpoint and catch their prey without even having to see it. So they are superbly adapted for the night time. You'll also notice that when Millie stops still for a minute, she turns her head around quite a lot. She flicks her head backwards and forwards all the time. Sometimes it looks like she turns her head all the way around. Now, owls can't do that, but they can turn their heads a lot further than you and I can. An owl can actually turn its head in an arc of 270 degrees. That is a long way around, a lot further than you and I can. It allows them to spot anything that might be sitting directly in behind them. They can drop down and catch it if they need to. One other thing that helps these birds to be very successful, something that you guys won't be able to notice at all, is silent flight. Now, she's capable of silent flight. They have frayed flight feathers and tiny down hairs on the underside of their wings. That allows them to glide nice and smoothly through the air without making any noise at all. So they can sneak up on their prey. Now, that prey would include things like our nocturnal marsupials, the possums and the gliders. It would also include lots and lots of rodents. So things like rats and mice. And many of our owl species do feed very, very heavily on rats and mice. Things like the barn owls that I mentioned a little bit earlier. A pair of barn owls out there in the wild are thought to catch up to about 2,000 mice a year. Now that helps us keep down those rodent numbers. And barn owls are one of the birds that are doing really well out there in the wild. But unfortunately, barking owls like Millie here, they're not doing so well at all. In fact, barking owls in Victoria are a threatened species. We only have around about 50 pairs of barking owls left here in Victoria. So we really need to start looking after the environment a lot better to be able to keep beautiful birds like barking owls around forever.
Yeah, I think you guys are probably getting the idea. It turns out a lot of our parrot species live very large old trees, and so do some of our owls as well. And unfortunately in Australia at the moment, we're still chopping down 7 million trees every year just to make one product. Now it is an important product, it's something that we all use, and you're about to find out what it is. But before you do, before the next bird gets here, we are going to need some help from you. If you happen to have a mobile phone with you today, we'd love you to grab it out and have it handy and ready to go. Because the next bird in our show has a really important message for you, and then a very simple job for you and your mobile phone. And when I say job, I don't mean it's like hard work, it's actually like a bit of fun. So if you have your phone out, that would be great. The bird I'm talking about is a gorgeous galah. Now, galah's name is Georges. Now, George is pretty smart. She happens to know that in Australia at the moment, we're chopping down 7 million trees a year to make out toilet paper, which is pretty silly. Trees are much better off in the ground than flushed down the loo. And what we can do is one very simple thing. Go on, George. We can simply wipe for wildlife. Okay, the hard work is already done. We can make toilet paper out of old office paper. So we can actually recycle heaps of paper products to make our toilet paper. All we really need is everyone in Australia to make a simple switch. Start choosing 100% recycled toilet paper and wiping for wildlife. That's pretty easy. The other easy thing that we're hoping you can do today is pledge your support for Zoos Victoria. We want you to help us to fight extinction by wiping for wildlife. So all we're asking you to do with your phone is just text the word wipe to the number that's on the bottom of the banner there. Because the more pledges of support we have, then the easier the fight against extinction is going to become.
All right, such an easy behaviour for people to change, and does go a long way to helping out lots and lots of our wildlife. Now, I'm sure all of you have heard that parrots can talk. You might not realise, though, it's a natural adaptation. It's a natural behaviour we call mimicking. And mimicking is really important for a lot of our birds. What it does, it allows them to learn their own little languages. So they can speak to their own flock, find a mate, and work out where the boundary of their territory starts and finishes. This bird here is a master mimic. He's a very intelligent bird, this one. He also thinks he's the star of the show. I'd like to introduce you to Kevin. This is Kev the long-billed Corella, and he thinks he's such a star that he deserves his own microphone. So, Kevin, would you like to say hi? Now, Kev, have you been at the back watching the show? Yeah, good. Today, we've been talking about adaptations. We've already seen some pretty amazing adaptations in our birds, but there is one adaptation that all birds have got, and it's really important for most of them. If you haven't guessed what it is, Kevin here is going to show you. Kev, sit up straight. All right? What's the most important adaptation? Wings. They also need their wings to fly around. That's pretty important. And we saw really the barking owl a little bit earlier. We talked about owls being able to turn their heads in an arc of 270 degrees, a lot further than you and I. Kevin's going to give it a go. How far can you see round? 360, that's not too bad. And you remember the black kite?